Hello, everyone. I'm always looking for new voices in STEM. And this morning, I had the opportunity to meet someone that's making real change through an avenue that you probably haven't thought about before. And that's Stephen Ritz, who calls himself the chief optimist for the Green Bronx Machine, the winner of the 2021 Social Innovation Award. I'm really excited to spend a few minutes learning more about Stephen and his work, and I hope that you are too. Stephen, welcome. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm here to rock the mic and talk some STEM. Let's get at it.
I love that hat so much. So Stephen, I'm curious. I know you're in the Bronx, and I'm drinking out of my New York Public Library coffee mug right now in honor. But I wonder,
Okay.
where did this journey start for you? How did you become interested in really thinking differently about the ways that we teach our young people?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. What's got us here has got us here, and it really hasn't worked. So it's time to be different. It's time to be innovative. And for me, I just always had this amazing innate ability to connect with young people. And it's been a journey for me. Listen, it wasn't always plants. In the past, it was animals. Before that, it was business. You just go where the journey takes you and put your best foot forward and give it 150% nonstop.
I love that, and that's I think so important. We talk all the time in education about how relationships are more important than anything,
The
and finding
most
ways to connect
important
and build those
thing
relationships.
in still and now more than ever, the most important thing you can do in a classroom is build a relationship. Look, education is here, it's in the computer, but relationships last for life. And I've started this career in 1984. I'm still in touch with a bulk of my students to this very day. It's not a transaction, it's a relationship.
So Green Bronx Machine has a pretty unique way of teaching, and you alluded to it a second ago. You talked about animals and then plants. A really unique way of teaching STEM and the core content. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So here at Green Bronx Machine, we grow vegetables. Our vegetables grow students. Our students grow schools, and our schools grow happy, healthy, resilient communities. But literally, Green Bronx Machine is the art and science of growing vegetables indoors using 90% less water and 90% less space, aligned to every single subject and content area. So it is literally an all you can eat academic buffet. And to think that you can do this and every 30 days have tons of food to eat, sell, or share in a community that has limited means and limited access to food is even all that much more important. But at the heart of our work is curriculum. The Green Bronx Machine classroom curriculum, 300 pages, 600 active links, a data driven system that has rubrics, metrics, exit tickets, literally a step by step guide to ensure teacher success. And again, my hook, if you will, my magic secret sauce happens to be vegetables. But whether it's technology, computers, gaming, whatever it is that you do and you do well, get out there and do it and make it sticky because things that stick.
All right, so here's the question that I always have to ask. So people who know me know I was in public schools for 16 years. My wife is a really incredible forward-thinking math teacher, but she's also a skeptic. And I know that I talked to her about you today when we sit down at dinner tonight and we kind of talk about her days. And the first thing she's going to say is, "All right, that sounds great. I love vegetables. I love kids doing things differently. I love getting kids excited, all that stuff. But how is a carrot going to teach my kids about the quadratic formula?" So how
I
does that
love
work?
that question. Bring your wife and tell her I'll come for dinner and cater, along with the percent ratio and proportion it takes to do the measurement, calculate seed germination, and look at the differential ratios at which plants grow, develop, mature, and have mean average output and volume. You heard?
So can you give us a little bit of an example if we're thinking about any course, but not kind of specifically something about botany or vegetables. So again, something like math or ELA. What might a lesson sort of look like that ties those two things together in an interesting way?
So, first and foremost, at the heart of our work is this amazing 21st century device called a tower garden. It's a great piece of indoor growing technology. And of course, as with any growing, there is water involved. So, believe it or not, I have kids who can look at the base of the tower garden that's sitting right over there and calculate this thing called volume. Why? Because they're understanding how much water is going in and they understand, given the height and the weight, they can tell me how much water is being used daily. But something as simple as seed germination. the percentage of seeds that germinate, the ratio, the proportion. All of these things are critical. Listen, kids don't even know the difference between inches, centimeters, feet, and yards sometimes. So to give them this hands-on, sticky, collaborative, cooperative learning activity that is infused with tons of scientific terms, data, terminology, and actual measurement tools really gets them excited in ways that they didn't realize.
What I love about that too is that there's a couple things that we know work for education, but they're hard to do. And two of those things are, number one, students coming to us and asking the questions, asking to be taught, and number two, having a way to apply that knowledge to something that they're actually doing. And the work that you're doing allows for that, right? A student can look at that tower and say, "I need to know how much water to add. Hey, can you show me the
And then
calculations to figure this
calculate
out?"
the amount of nutrients, because it's not just about water. There's a
Mhm.
ratio and proportion of nutrients at different levels. But you hit on something that is perhaps the most critical piece, and that is not being afraid. Because number one, this work requires courage. And the opposite of courage is not cowardice. The opposite of courage is conformity, because even a dead fish can go with the flow. So we are no longer dead fish, and we've got to really start swimming to better destinations if we are going to succeed as a nation. But creating a culture where it is okay to ask for help is at the absolute epicenter of what I do. I want kids and colleagues and principals and everyone to feel comfortable putting their hand up and say, "Hey, I have a question. Hey, I need help." And the coolest thing is, by using plants who don't speak and can't send an email and can send me a text message, we have to infer, we have to look deep, we have to speculate, we have to prognosticate, we have to predict. And those are the skills that I love reinforcing with kids daily. And the coolest thing is, the plants don't complain. Look, I've killed a lot of plants in my time, but I only post pictures of the living ones. That's the key to my success. But I've never killed or hurt a child, and they've always had a great time in the process. And again, to be able to grow food in a community, particularly during the COVID crisis, where there is such food insecurity, to be able to grow food and have kids nourish themselves and bring copious amounts of food home to their families and loved ones is awesome sauce. To move kids' palates from sugar sweetened, manufactured edible synthetic substances, the crap, calorie rich and processed food that we tend to force down their throats daily, and let them realize that from a simple seed, something great can happen. That in and of itself is yet another recipe for awesome sauce. So this work touches on so many things that are so critical right now: compassion, empathy, social emotional learning, patience, perseverance, and community. So I'm just blessed, honored, and privileged to be doing it.
It's the thing that you mentioned that I maybe love the most personally is that we talk all the time in schools about the importance of teaching kids resilience and how to bounce back from a failure and figure out a new solution. But the thing that we don't do is, number one, give them a lot of opportunities to explore that themselves, and two, and maybe more importantly, give them the opportunity to see us as educators fail right in front of them and bounce back and figure out a solution. And this is the way that we teach these skills. And it sounds like that's kind of a core component of your work at Green Bronx Machine.
Well, that's a core component of my life. Look, man, I've been asked to graduate elsewhere. I've been asked to work elsewhere. But that doesn't stop me. I keep coming back. I keep telling kids I'm a seed. You don't let me flourish, you're just going to plant me again, and I'm going to pop out somewhere else. And they love that analogy.
All right, so here's the big question. I think is that you're a very PBL focused school, and I know that we talked earlier, and there's opportunities for folks who are listening if they're running a school or have that type of role. There's opportunities for people to actually take your program and replicate it. But a lot of people who are listening are educators who are in a very traditional school, and they want to break out of that mold, but it is not the full school philosophy, at least yet. So if you're an educator and watching kind of you talk about your program, getting excited about it, what's something that they could do now in their classrooms to bring this sort of experience to their kids?
Well, for me, if it's this sort of experience, it's something as small and as simple as planting a seed, planting a plant, growing some microgreens. But, whatever your passion is, man, embrace it. I'm looking at that beautiful logo behind you, the Explorer logo. And for me, it's about exploring your passion. It's a Listen, there is so much information out there for kids online. There's so much stuff on YouTube. There's so much acquired and stored knowledge. But when children experience passion, wow, that gets them through the door. That keeps them coming. And that also keeps us as educators evolving. I don't want to be a fixed dinosaur. I want to be an evolving organism. Get out there and explore, baby.
And they love it too. Our kids love so much seeing what we're excited about and seeing us as real people. And I think you're right. I love the vegetable angle, but the angle doesn't matter, right? It's just about
Listen,
finding
I'm
something.
doing vegetables, but I could be doing cartwheels. I just found something that works. And in my community, where there are so many food issues, whether it's hunger, obesity, diabetes, I found something that the children really understand and really can relate to.
Well, I love this so much. Stephen, as soon as I heard about you from the folks at Explore, I just had this
Oh, my
feeling I was
peeps.
going to dig you, and I really do. I'm sure that everyone listening does as well. So tell us, where can we see more of you and your work and the Green Bronx Machine?
Well, first and foremost, you could always go to the website. But talking about my amazing peeps and friends over at Explorer, big shout out to Jenny Bukos and everybody's crush girl, Carrie Byron. The beautiful thing is we have an amazing piece that they filmed for us on Explorer about Green Bronx Machine. And the coolest thing is, I'm not even in it. And I don't say because I'm not important. It's really about the children. And having children share and tell their story validates them in ways that literally have taken us from the Bronx all the way around the world and realize it was my students telling their story to the world. So I'm forever grateful to Carrie for showing up, for Jenny for coming to visit, and just allowing the children to do their thing. But of course, you could check out my book, The Power of a Plant. Please buy it. 100% of the proceeds support the program. You can get it at Green Bronx Machine website. You can check out our personal TV show filmed with the kids. And believe it or not, the kids have become the animals. So we've got Leslie the ladybug, Patty the pigeon. The kids will send you an autographed card. Sammy the shark. It's Let's Learn with Mr. Ritz, again, inspired by the folks at Explorer. And that's got us looking in a different direction. So the fact that Carrie and Jenny came to visit us, got the children excited, and then we went down yet another path. So, don't stay still, teachers. Grow, explore, expand, travel the horizon, push the parameters, be bold, be brave. That's what this work is all about.
Stephen, thank you so much for taking some time with me today. I really look forward to seeing the change that you make and continue to make for young people in this country and around the world. I'm excited to see Green Bronx Project grow and expand Green Bronx Machine, and I really can't wait to see where this journey takes you.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you.
kindly. When's the dinner invite? I got carrots for the wife, man. I'll even grow them myself.
It's an open invite. Stop by
All
absolutely
right, you
anytime.
got it. I
Thanks,
never
Stephen.
say goodbye, but rather see you soon.
See you soon.